Welcome to the Straightport Connection with Tommy. This video is on TNA Impact Wrestling for tonight, from earlier tonight. But first, some TNA news and all wrestling news. Impact will no longer be seen on DirecTV due to all Viacom's channels, including Spike TV, have now gone dark on DirecTV. The two companies failed to get an agreement worked out regarding carriage fees, meaning that Spike TV, Nickelodeon, MTV, Comedy Central, BET, VH1, CMT, and other channels have been deleted from the DirecTV customers. The previous contract expired over the weekend. And breaking news, Cody Hall, the son of Scott Hall, makes his in-ring professional debut at Bellevue Pro Wrestling event in Bellevue, Florida on this coming Saturday. Cody's father, Scott Hall, will be in his corner for a match against Josh Hess. For more details, visit youtube.com. I should have wrote down the links for several of these videos. Well, the link can be found on, just search for Cody Hall on YouTube. The show will also feature Larry Zbyszko, Santana Garrett, and Christina Von Eerie. WWE star and former UFC heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar turned 35 today. Or actually, still today, July 12th, 1977. Lesnar will be headlining the SummerSlam pay-per-view in a match against Triple H. He is scheduled for a few upcoming Raw Super shows, starting with the 1000th Raw episode on July 23rd. Former WWE wrestler, the Boogeyman, a.k.a. Marty Wright, is available for independent bookings. If you're interested in booking the Boogeyman, he's coming to get you for a match or a personal appearance. And you can email him at boogeybookings@yahoo.com. Doink the Clown's recent appearance on Raw became fodder for CNN's Apparently This Matters blog, which can be read at a piece of CNN.com. TNA is considering bringing in Chris Masters, the masterpiece, as one of the masked men who attacked Sting a couple weeks ago and again on tonight's results, as you will see as well. Masters is booked to wrestle in Russia the night before Bound for Glory. This would make wrestling in Phoenix the night after problematic, but not impossible. There has been confusion in WWE letting Wes Briscoe leave and head to TNA. He is the son of Gerald Briscoe and had great reviews at WWE Developmental before being released. While he would have had been a good fit for WWE Cruiserweight show, the company released him anyways. He's now being considered for a spot on TNA's main roster. Tyson Kidd also had a birthday. He turned 32, real name Theodore T.J. Wilson. He was born actually it was yesterday, July the 11th, 1980. He was born. He was one of 8 entrants into the SmackDown Money in the Bank match on Sunday. He's considered a long shot to win the match, but it's still good to see him get some pay-per-view love for a change. Retired pro wrestler Butch Reed, a.k.a. Bruce Reed, turned 58 on July 11th, 1954. Reed worked as the Natural in WWE, and I met him at a WWE event with Dr. Death Steve Williams in Augusta, Georgia, at what is now called the James Brown Arena. It used to be Richmond County Recreation or something. No, Richmond County Coliseum, something like that. Anyways, he was the tag partner of Ron Simmons in the Doom tag team that I was doing some dream matches on recently, and I have some more upcoming as well. And you can look for that on the SVR 11 dream matches on YouTube. And he was managed by Teddy Long and Woman, a.k.a. Nancy Benoit, in WCW. TNA star Kurt Angle is being inducted into George Tragos Luthez Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame this weekend, but will not appear for his induction due to a conflict with his obligation to TNA Wrestling, according to the WCF Courier in Waterloo, Iowa. You can read a full report about this weekend ceremonies at WCFcourier.com. Angle is also joined by 5 other inductees, including former NWA, WCW, WWE Tag Team Star Road Warrior Animal and former WWE Champion JBL. I really hope this is Kurt using TNA as an excuse and not TNA putting its foot down. I'm not a big fan of inducting people who are still working, but that's what the Waterloo Hall does, and Angle should be allowed to attend if he wants. WWE Superstars featured 3 matches, including a Divas tag match. It was headlined by a missing match, Jinder Mahal versus Alex Riley, and that was about it. Former WCW WWE star Hurricane, a.k.a. Gregory Helms, turned 38. He is still finding his way back to the indie scene after a horrible motorcycle accident last year, and is the host of the weekly Highway to Helms internet show. Indie favorite son El Generico, a.k.a. Rami Sabay, turned 28. Generico has worked for all major indie promotions and is the best known for his feud with the current Ring of Honor champion Kevin Steen throughout 2010 in Ring of Honor, and continuing through today in PWG. That's Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Former WWE and TNA talent Serena Deeb, age 26, was arrested on July 8, 2012 in Tampa, Florida for operating a vessel while intoxicated. Her crime was categorized as BUI, boating under the influence. She was released on a $150 bond. If you're interested, you can go to TMZ for the mugshot. And Deeb appeared for WWE in 2010 as a member of CM Punk's led Straight Edge Society, a group which promoted and embodied the abstinence and discipline, primarily no smoking, no drinking, no drugs. The faction acted as a militant organization denouncing all people who didn't practice the straight edge lifestyle, even those who also abstained from substance abuse. Her contract was terminated in August of that year. Deeb continued to wrestle independently following her release from WWE. She took an indefinite break from the profession in October 2011 after suffering a serious concussion in a match, and now works as a yoga instructor. And finally, Impact opens with a recap of Austin Aries winning the TNA World Heavyweight Championship this past Sunday at Destination X. We also see a previously on Impact Wrestling video highlighting the Bound for Glory series and the Bully Ray Joseph Park feud. Straight up, off the gates, this is match number 1. Anything goes match, Bully Ray versus Joseph Park. Bully takes some trash for a few moments before Park swings and misses. Park swings a few more times and keeps missing as Ray comes back and smacks him. Ray backs Park in the corner and smacks him again and spits in his face. Park slaps Ray. Finally, but panders to the crowd too long, and Ray knocks him down to the mat. Ray gets his phone out and starts tweeting, and he says, "I'm trending worldwide." As he's kicking Park while he's down, Ray goes to the outside and grabs a trash can full of weapons under the ring. Ray grabs a steel chair and tries to hit Park, but Park takes him down with a double leg takedown. Park gets caught in a moment again, and Ray takes him down again. Ray grabs a sign and smacks Park on the back with it. Ray puts Park's head on a trash can lid and goes for a splash, but Park moves out of the way. Park comes back with some rights and lefts and takes Ray down. Says he's going to do what Park should have done to Abyss a long time ago. I missed skip one. Park comes back with some rights and lefts, and Ray goes down before getting caught with a big boot. Ray grabs a bag of thumbtacks from underneath the ring and dumps the tacks into the middle of the ring and kicks them around to spread them out. Then Ray grabs a mic and says he's going to do to Park what he should have done to Abyss a long time ago. Ray grabs a kendo stick and goes to hit Park with it, but Park low blows him and hits him with a stick and goes for a cover. Ray kicks out at 2, a very close 2. Ray takes Park down with a clothesline and then takes him over to the tacks. Park reverses it and slams Ray into the tacks. Back first. Park goes for the cover, but Ray kicks out at 2 again. Ray goes to the corner and grabs a chain and decks Park with it. Ray goes to the cover and gets a pinfall. Well, Bully Ray won, but after the match, we see Park has been busted open and then he snaps like it's Hulk Hogan. And realizes that he's bleeding, and he's going into an effect like he sees the blood and he goes into another one and snaps out of it. Well, Ray goes to attack him, but Park hits him with a black hole slam. Just like a bitch. Park snaps back and looks shocked at what he has done to Ray. The crowd chants, "It was you!" And he shakes his head, "No!" And we see Sting backstage with a dead man's hand. He says, "Yeah, I get it." And they go to commercial. Back from the break, and we see what happened to Bully Ray and Joseph Park before the commercial break. We go backstage, and we see Ray picking text out of his boots. Someone from a side camera view asks him what just happened out there with Park. Ray asks, "Who was that?" He says he beat Joseph Park, and then asks who it was again. Then they poll to the leaderboard for the Bound for Glory series with Samoa Joe leading with 37 points. James Orr coming in second with 36. So over the weekend, Samoa Joe took the lead. And match number 2, Bound for Glory series match, RVD versus Samoa Joe. RVD trips Joe in the corner and tries to get a submission in place, but Joe grabs the rope. Joe backs RVD in the corner, but he fights out and exchanges blows in the center of the ring. RVD kicks Joe in the corner, but Joe comes charging and takes RVD down with a clothesline. RVD takes control for a bit, but Joe rolls through and gets a heel lock on him. Joe stands on RVD's knee in the corner and picks him up. RVD fights back. It's to no avail. Joe slams him down to the mat. Joe applies a submission, but RVD gets to his feet on the bottom rope. Joe delivers a knee to RVD's head, but RVD comes back with a kick to Joe's head. RVD then takes Joe down and hits the Rolling Thunder and goes for a cover, but Joe kicks out at 2. RVD tries the monkey flip but out of the corner, who drives RVD down with an inverted muscle buster. Joe applies a heel lock on RVD again, but RVD gets out. Joe goes for it again, but RVD rolls through and gets a quick pinfall from a roll-up. As they show Samoa Joe is pissed as he just rolls out of the ring. And they show footage from earlier today when a cameraman ran outside and seen Claire driving around in her car. He asked her about Dixie, and she said that she hasn't been talking to her. He asked about Christopher Daniels and Kazarian, and says today isn't the day to talk to her, and then drives off. We get back and we see Hulk Hogan talking about the dead man's hand with Sting, and he says he and Sting are both here and can't wait to see the white in Sting's attacker's eyes. And as Sting is saying, "Let's go old school. Let's go old school. I want to go old school." Well, Christopher Daniels and Kazarian make their way to the ring, and we see a recap of what happened between Daniels and AJ Styles this past Sunday at Destination X. Kazarian said this thing with Styles is far from over. Daniels gets the microphone and says Styles is actually at Destination X. We're reprehensible. Daniels says if Styles will do anything to keep the truth from the fans. Daniels says he wants to bring Claire Lynch out to answer some questions. Daniels says he knows Claire hit rock bottom and she grabs Styles' hand for support. And when that happens, accidents happen. Styles' music hits and he makes his way out. Styles says he is shocked, but Daniels still stand and speak. Styles says this was over weeks ago, and Daniels says he was wrong. Daniels says he and Claire had a talk and tells her to tell Styles and the world what she and Daniels told him. Styles says she doesn't have to. Styles and Daniels argue in the ring, and Daniels says the truth has to come out. Claire interjects and says that Daniels is right about Styles being the father of her baby. And they cut to commercial with Styles saying he doesn't remember when Claire asked him if he remembers what happened between them. So obviously somebody got drunk, but could still get it up. Well, we're back from commercial, and we see a replay of what just happened between AJ Styles, Claire Lynch, and Christopher Daniels. And we go backstage, and a guy is following AJ and says that he owes us an explanation. Styles turns around and screams, "I don't know," and walks away. Then we get a video package of Mr. Anderson saying his rivalry with Kurt Angle goes back years, and he respects him, and hopes Angle respects him as well. We then see Anderson warming up backstage. Then we get a Destination X video package highlighting Zema Ion winning the TNA X Division Championship in the Ultimate X match. We're back live, and we see Dakota Darsow saying that he can't stand Zema Ion and telling him not to worry about Jesse Sorensen right now because he has to worry about Dakota Darsow as we got a commercial break. Match number 3, Dakota Darsow versus Zema Ion. Darsow takes control and stomps and punches away on Ion in the corner. Darsow takes him to the corner and hits two big clotheslines and takes Ion down to the mat. Ion goes to the outside and starts walking away from the ring, but Darsow goes after him and punches him on the ramp. Ion gets back in the ring and takes advantage with a knee to Darsow. Darsow comes back with a spear on Ion. Ion drapes Darsow's neck across the top rope and hits a jumping DDT. Ion takes Darsow down with a face plant and gets the pinfall. After the match, Ion delivers an arm breaker to Darsow. Ion grabs a mic and says that if Jesse Sorensen doesn't want to see any more of his friends get hurt, he needs to tell them Ion is pretty effing dangerous. And we see that we will hear from the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Austin Aries, up next as we go to commercial. Back from the break, and we get a video package from earlier in the night of Austin Aries winning the TNA World Heavyweight Championship at Destination X. Then we go back to the live arena, and Austin Aries' music plays and hits, and he's making his way out. Aries says he had a great week. He says it's a great day to be great, and a great day to be the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. He says he is supposed to talk about how he is a big accomplishment. This is a big accomplishment for him. He says this just wasn't a great moment for Austin Aries, Impact Wrestling. It was a great moment for the professional wrestling industry itself. He asked the crowd to get quiet when they get loud for him, because he just wants to get the interview, the speech over with. He then says for the past year there's been an energy about Impact Wrestling. He says everyone feels ready for the next celebrities, NFL players, and even world champions from other professional wrestling organizations. Since the recent thank you from CM Punk, and congratulations from CM Punk right after the pay-per-view on this past Sunday. He says the TNA World Heavyweight Championship is the most important and prestigious title today because he is the best wrestler alive today, and out to interrupt him this time was Bobby Roode. As he has a shocked look on his face and looks around the Impact Zone, Aries says the people don't want to see him right now. Roode gets into the ring and grabs a microphone, and Aries holds the title up in front of him many times. Roode begins to talk and then stops and walks around because he's like, Roode tries to talk again, but does the same thing. He's taking over Matt Morgan's little stuttering from WWF. Well, Aries says he has 3 words for Roode. New world champion. Aries' music hits as Roode walks up the ramp and continues to yell at Aries. Then we go backstage to see Sting and Hogan talking again. Sting says he is 150%. Sting says it's time for Sting and Hogan to go old school again. Devon and Garrett Bischoff walk in, and Devon says that they have Sting and Hogan's back no matter what. Hogan says he and Sting have it. But thanks him anyways. Sting looks at Hogan and says, old school again. Hogan says it's different and different this time, and that they're in deep kimchi this time. As we go to commercial break. Back for the break, we'll see a video package with Kurt Angle saying he'd love to make Mr. Anderson submit, but he thinks Mr. Anderson is ready for that. He says Anderson is a great competitor and says facing Anderson will raise his ability to win. He says if he can beat Anderson, he can win the world title. We then see Angle warming up backstage. We go back to last week and we see Madison Rayne making out with Earl Hebner. We'll see a video package with Madison saying Earl is an icon. It says it's commonplace for a younger woman to fall for an older man. It says she doesn't have to explain herself to anyone. Well, Brooke Hogan comes out and joins the commentary at the table for the following match, which is your Knockouts match. Knockouts championship match. Of course, Miss Tessmacher is out, and then Gail Kim. Tessmacher gets in the ring and attacks Kim immediately. Tessmacher takes Gail Kim with a clothesline and stomps away on her in the corner. Tessmacher hits a drop kick and takes Kim down with a head scissor. Tessmacher grabs Kim by the hair, but Kim drapes Tessmacher over the top rope. Kim slaps Tessmacher shoulder first into the turnbuckle and slams her down to the mat. Kim slams her arm onto the mat. But Tessmacher comes back for a bit before Kim takes her back down. Kim takes Tessmacher up and hits a backdrop. Kim wrenches Tessmacher's arm on the ropes and takes her down and goes for a cover, but only gets a 2 count. Kim continues to work on Tessmacher's arm and applies a submission. Tessmacher reverses it into a pin cover, but only gets a 2 count. Kim goes to slam Tessmacher into the ropes again, but Tessmacher reverses and slams Kim into them. Tessmacher takes Kim down and connects with a facebuster out of the corner. Tessmacher plants Kim again, goes for the cover, but Kim grabs the rope. Tessmacher charges at Kim, but Kim reverses and gets a roll-up for a 2 count. Kim slams Tessmacher's head into the turnbuckle and goes up top. Tessmacher fights back and attempts to eat defeat from the top rope, but Tessmacher pushes her off. Tessmacher hits a flying elbow, Macho Man style, from the top for the pinfall. Winner still TNA Knockouts champion, Tessmacher. Then we see Kurt Angle backstage. His match against Mr. Anderson is up next. Commercial break. We're back and we see another replay of what happened between AJ Styles and Claire from earlier tonight. Someone tries to catch up to Claire backstage and asks what proof Claire has that AJ is the father. She says she has proof and that we will see it soon enough and walks away. So there's a big swerve. We see that Open Fight Night will we return next week. Brutus Magnus is backstage as he says he can't wait for the open call outs for the Bound for Glory series. Magnus says he has James Storm this Saturday in Memphis and says Storm has lost his edge and will prove that he is being overlooked and will go on to win the entire series. We then take another look at the Bound for Glory series leaderboard. Nothing's changed yet. So we got Kurt Angle versus Mr. Anderson. Well, the only thing changed is RVD got some points from earlier. Bound for Glory series match is Angle versus Anderson. Angle tries to take Anderson down, but Anderson gets out and they tie up, lock up. Anderson backs Angle into the corner and the referee separates them. Angle takes Anderson down and applies a headlock. Anderson fights out and shoots Angle off the ropes, but Angle comes back with a big shoulder block. Anderson comes back with a couple of hip tosses and works his arm. Angle backs Anderson into the corner and hits him with some rights and lefts and stomps away on him. Angle backs away and Anderson takes advantage and takes Angle down with a clothesline and a drop kick. And Taz said, what a move. It's a drop kick. And Anderson gets a 2 count. Angle hits Anderson with a belly-to-belly suplex. Both men are down. Angle stomps on Anderson as we go to commercial break. Back again, Anderson fighting out of a headlock, and he does some backdrop angle backdrop angle to the mat. Anderson takes Angle down with a reverse into his vintage German suplexes. Angle stalks Anderson and goes for an Olympic slam, but Anderson hits the plunge and gets a 2 count. Angle slams Anderson down to the mat and goes for the ankle lock, but Anderson kicks away. Angle hits an Olympic slam and goes for the cover, but Anderson kicks out at 2. Angle drops the straps and goes for Anderson's ankle as Anderson tries to fight it. Anderson locks it in, and Angle locks it in, and Anderson reaches for the ropes. Angle pulls him to the center of the ring, but Anderson rolls through and hits the mic check. He goes for the pin, but Angle kicks out at 2. Anderson goes for the mic check again, but Angle reverses into an Olympic slam for the pinfall. So Kurt Angle wins, and we see the updated leaderboard, and we see the Angle is in 3rd behind Joe and Storm, and Anderson is all the way down in 7th with only 9 points. But he's not in last because last place is coming out with 0 points, and next to last has 5 points. Then we see Hogan and Sting backstage again. Well, actually, Impact Wrestling had a double commercial break. They came back from a commercial break. It's like a Irish whip into the ropes, and they cut to a break. That's like, oops, that was a botch from the cameras. And we're back out with the main event. Well, we go back to the backstage. Hogan and Sting are talking. Bobby Roode walks in and interrupts. He tells Hogan that they need to talk as they got a commercial. Back from break, and Hogan is talking to Roode in his office. Hogan says he guesses Roode wants his rematch. And Roode says he's damn right. Hogan says he can have his rematch at Hardcore Justice. Roode says he's not waiting until then. Hogan says he can call out Aries next week for a non-title match. And if he beats him, he can prove it was a fluke, and he can have his rematch at Hardcore Justice. Still. And your whatever main event. Sting's music hit, and he makes his way to the ring with his baseball bat. Sting grabs a mic and says it is awesome to be back in the Impact Zone. He says there is a crew that loves to play games. He says this feels like a great time, and this is the right place. Sting says he didn't come alone and calls out Hogan. Many times, Hogan's music plays, but he doesn't come out. The music stops, and Sting calls him out again. Hogan's music hits again, but no Hogan. Hogan's music hits a 3rd time, and still no Hogan. Then we see a video package backstage, and the masked guys are beating up Hogan as Sting is running to the back somewhat. 4 guys on him, but I've seen 5. They have beat down Hogan before Brooke Hogan came into the save. Sting gets out of the ring, and what looked to be 6 or 7 guys beating down Hogan as Impact comes to a close. And that ends my Impact wrestling for this week, being July 12th. Thanks. God bless. Sayonara. Konnichiwa. Good night.